Hi, my dear Capricorns. Welcome to Lucy the Antigua Tarot. My name's Lucy, and I have your reading for the month of May 2016. Okay, this is a 9-card spread, as I always do. The card in the middle is you, and then all the other cards are related to your center and what's going on here in your center. Okay, that's the idea. So, this is a general reading, so some of this may not be resonating with you right now. Some things might resonate a little bit with you. So we'll just whatever way, in whatever way it works, I hope it works for you in a positive way, in some way that it'll give you some nice feedback. So let's start with your center card, which is, well, let's look at your cards first. Okay, I'm kind of going a little bit ahead of myself here, but let me pull back and kind of just like take my time telling you what your spread first has to show or to give us. Okay, what we have here. So we have one, two, 3, 4 sword cards. Okay, and it's funny because you have the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8 of swords. Okay, and the energy comes like this way. It comes in and it kind of goes down and cuts across. Okay, and then you have 2 major arcanas, which are at the top: death and temperance. And these cards are in Spanish. They have Spanish titles on them. La Muerte, and because I bought this deck in Guatemala when I was over there visiting family and friends in January, and I came across this deck, and I was like so happy to come across it because I just thought it was really cool that they had these Spanish titles. They have them in all the major arcanas and in the court cards too, so I really like that. So that's death. And then you have temperance, la templanza, you say it in Spanish, templanza. All right, and then you have your sword cards here with the 5 of swords in the center, the 7 of swords at the beginning, and the 6 of swords on the other side. Okay, and then at the bottom you have the 2 of pentacles, the 4 of cups, and the 10 of wands. So you pretty much have like swords, pentacles, cups, and wands, 2 major arcana. So it's an interesting reading. So again, for the first time in 2 months, my dear Capricorns, that you're not getting all major arcana. So I'm really happy about that too, because this might be a little bit more significant in other ways. So let's talk about the 5 of swords, which is at your center. And if you can see this card, the clouds are not white, they're gray, and it's windy because they're swords. And here's this man standing here, and he's looking back at 2 people that there was a fight, and their swords are like thrown. They gave up and they left. They lost, and he has won, and he's holding on to 3 swords. Then the wind's blowing. You can see the wind blowing his hair too. There. So this card has a lot of movement. So this card means, you guys, mixed feelings and conflicts. And maybe things are getting a little complicated, obviously. Okay. They could be challenges at work. Okay. They could be emotional challenges. Okay. So keep your calm. And it's telling you to remember that not everyone sees things the same way. Maybe you're feeling a little bit mixed up, confused. There's been some conflict. It could be related to work. It's getting more complicated. And it's telling you, stay calm, first of all. And then remember that not everyone's going to see things the same way. Okay, and that is at your center. This is you. So then the energy coming into your reading today for the month of May is the Eight of Swords. And as you can see, there is this woman. She's tied and you know, she's got a bandage around her eyes, a scarf covering her eyes. But you know, they're loosely put. So basically, she can basically just free herself, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to move. And there are five swords on one side of her and three on the other. So this card means holding back. She's holding back. The terrain is very treacherous, difficult to move, and she's really not communicating. You know, like look at back. You know, here's like the city. If you can see that, there's a castle there, but she is choosing to deal with it by herself, and she's holding back, and she's being way too cautious, which kind of makes sense because when you're not feeling, when you're not sure how you feel about something, you know, you're not, or you know, if there's like conflict and it's kind of confusing, and you know, you're not really knowing what's going on really or how you're going to deal with it, and you're trying to keep your calm, you know, yeah, it makes it kind of difficult to move. You are keeping yourself like that because you're afraid. It could be that it could be that you're afraid of relationships. Maybe you're keeping yourself single because you don't think that a relationship is something that can be positive. You don't think of relationships as positive things. You don't want to get hurt again. There's issues of trust. There's issues of moving forward into something like this. Okay? If it's in relation to a job, it could be the same thing. You could be like, you know, being really overcautious about a business venture or something like that. But the cards are really focusing on just being overcautious about whatever. It could be a job, it could be a relationship. It's telling you to face your fears, not to fear the unknown, and that the unknown might be an opportunity that you need to move on, Okay, so open up. That's what this card is telling you, and this is the energy that's coming in. Move on and leave the past behind. That's what it's saying. It's good advice, but it's, you know, if you're feeling confused and you have mixed feelings, it's not that easy to move on, right? To just say, okay, I'm going to just do this or do that, you know, but we have to try our best, definitely. But let's see what comes later. This is what they're suggesting. Here it is coming in. It's being suggested and it's coming in. But then you have the Death card and La Muerte. And this is the card of transformation, of letting go, of changes and natural endings. Accept the changes you need to make the changes you want. Okay? Take charge of your life. You know, and it's funny because Death is riding on the white horse, and the white horse is the bearer of heroes. So, yeah, transformation and letting go. And probably being a little bit more realistic. Especially with money, it says. Okay? And that's all that card wrote, but it's crowning. I mean, I could spend a lot of time just talking about the symbolism of this card. But just in general terms of what its meaning is, there it is. Transformation and letting go, natural endings, accepting changes, taking control of your life. And it is crowning your center. And that might be a big challenge for you right now. because you have mixed feelings and you're conflicted, and maybe stuff is getting complicated for you. Okay, so maybe there's a lesson to be learned. And then you have temperance, and of course there's the angel, and I think you guys got this the last time. She's got one foot on earth and one foot in the water, and she's balancing those two energies of material world and the emotional world. And then here you have the the twirly path, the curved path that leads to the sun, which is your inner self, your God, and it's the path of the instinct. And this card means balance. Juggling multiple things in our life and not just the one thing. Okay, so being able to juggle multiple things. And one of those maybe it's a relationship, right? This one was making reference to a relationship, wasn't it? Now let me think here. No, it wasn't that one. It was the swords. It was the Eight of Swords. Yeah, you are keeping yourself single because you don't think that relationships are positive things. And so, here with this card, okay, don't just juggle the one thing. So, um, life incorporates a lot of different things in relationships. So it's about mixing and matching. Aim high and try to achieve all those things that require your attention. Okay. Home life, family life, profession, money, projects, children. All right. Make sure though that you are realistic when setting your goals. So, do your work, have a plan, okay? Make sure that you can do everything that needs to be done. Look at the big picture and plan and do accordingly, right? If we step back and look at the big picture, we can, mix and match. Excuse me. I can do this with that with this. This one probably can go with that job, etc. You can organize better. Be positive and remember that you have time ahead to get everything done. Everything doesn't need to be done like today or yesterday or tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Right, so take your time, right, and be open be open to new challenges. But at the same time, you might not be able to take all of them in right now, so choose carefully. Prioritize, plan, and organize. I think those are the in balance. Don't take on more than you can handle. Seek out what is truly important in your life. Do some reflection and listen to your instinct. Listen to what it's telling you about what it's really important for you, what is really important for you. Oftentimes what was important last year might not be important this year. That's what that's saying. And that's what's crowning your reading. And then we have the seven of swords. So this is telling you to check your actions, know what you're doing, be clear in your intentions. Okay, it's very similar to what's going on here. Actions, doing, and intentions. Be discreet and subtle where needed. Okay, be discreet and subtle when it's needed. It is also, this card is also saying, the message that is giving us is to keep some of your business to yourself and be discreet. Nobody, not, people don't need to know what you're doing. Maybe be a little bit more private. Be aware of what is going on around you also. Be aware of your intentions, be aware of your actions, be aware of what you're doing, and be aware of your surroundings. Wow, okay. Because that maybe is going to clarify some of the confusion that you're feeling, right? So that's interesting, pretty important. Be discreet. So maybe somebody will tell you something in confidence, and just keep it to yourself, Don't go around telling anybody. Some of us have a hard time keeping things to ourselves, but it's something that we strive, it's telling us to strive to be that way, That's like a message that all of us can have in our reading, but it's coming out in your reading today for the month of May. And then here you have, your next card, which is the Six of Swords. Okay, and this card you can see, four swords are over here. Oops, sorry. And two swords are here. And here they're on the boat, this little boat, and they're leaving. They're gone, and this card means movement. Having to move location. So, moving and having to move from one place to another can be very difficult, right? And it could be that you're going through some pretty turbulent times right now in your life. And this is the second card that's telling you to trust your instincts. Here, this major arcana has it. There's the road of the instinct, which leads you to your God self, in my opinion. And so this card is telling you the same thing. Trust your instincts. Go with it. So it's basically telling you that you could be coming to a natural phase of your job, or a relationship, but I think it's more related to job. But it could be a relationship, just depends. Everybody's a little different, but it basically, it's a natural ending. Sometimes, some things have to come to an end, and that's what that's saying. It could mean that you are unhappy with your job, or with your relationship, or with how something's turning out, and that you need to be in a place, in a place where you are appreciated. Okay, let's just say that instead of calling it a job. You just need to be in a place where you are appreciated, where you're happy, right? And there's not this conflictive feeling of insecurity, of not knowing how you feel. I mean, that's, you don't want that. So this card is telling you to make a decision and move on. Act upon it and move on. And remember, a change of scene can be a good thing. You move on to something new, and it might turn out that that new thing that you're moving into is really like cool. It's really great. So this card is not really, so it's really like physical distance, okay? Physically moving on. That's what that card is. And then you have your bottom cards here, your base, and we're starting with the Two of Pentacles. And this card is about testing the waters, multitasking, which kind of is related to this, juggling, to your Temperance card, keeping your priorities in check, again, the Temperance card, making priorities, organizing and planning. But you could be hitting your limits, and maybe you're feeling that you just can't go any further. You're doing a good job with what you're balancing, it says. I mean, you're not doing such a bad job, but a little bit more, and it could be beyond your limits, right? In terms of just in general terms, whatever that thing may be that you're balancing, whatever that may be, it's like um, you're doing a pretty good job, but don't overdo it. You are at the brink. One more little thing, and it could throw you off. It's also saying that you could expand. You could, move on to like bigger things, move, a different situation, whatever. But that yeah, you can do that, but make sure you plan carefully. Sure you know what you're doing. Okay? Are you taking note of your priorities? Are you checking your actions, That kind of thing. The advice that, these cards are giving you. Because, if you don't, you'll end up like completely overwhelmed, like it's over here, which you probably, are feeling. And then, it's what your reading's leaving with. But let's go to the Four of Cups first before we go to the Ten of Wands. You have the Four of Cups, and this card is telling you to be realistic also. Be realistic. Another card that's telling you the same thing. Remember that you can't change people. Love them as they are, and look at what's at hand, what's in front of you, not what you are dreaming about or what you think it is, or what maybe at some subconscious level you wish it was, and you're just like, reflecting on it. In terms of money, don't spend too much money. Be careful with your money. You could end up spending more than what you have. That's another thing this card is telling you. And this is your reading, my dear Capricorn. So, it might resonate with you. I think all of us have to be careful with our money, but not all of us are getting this card. Right? So it's also saying to be grateful for what you have. And for a job that you love. Maybe you're in a job that you love anyway. This is the Cups. He's being offered all these wonderful things, but he's rejecting them. He's not happy. He's being offered special gifts, and he's still not happy. So it's like the being grateful card. Being grateful that we have a roof over our heads and food on the table, for example, our basic needs met to start with. Everything else can come later. But that's what it's saying. So it's a really lovely, lovely, interesting card. And then you have the Ten of Wands, which is the last card in your reading. And this card is it's about being overburdened. Yeah. You maybe you're looking after a family member, or your children, or you have a lot of like people that you're taking care of. Who knows? Or maybe you have you're taking on more work than you really can handle. Maybe you need to step back and look at what it is, all this stuff that you're doing. And also just remember that it's not set in stone that you have to do all this stuff. Nobody's really making you to do this. You're choosing to do all these things. So you can alleviate the burden if you wish. Prioritize and organize yourself better. And this way you can do and take care of everything that is important to you in your life right now by doing that. In terms of love, either your partner's working too much or you're working too much. And if you're working too much, they're not getting enough attention, or maybe they're working too much and you're not getting enough attention. So it's kind of creating problems. So it could be a rough time for you, definitely. Yes, you're going through a rough time right now, you know. So, my dear Capricorns, it sounds like you need to just step back, let go of the past, let go of these burdens, move on, and kind of take care of yourself, and do these kind of things that you need to do for yourself. Okay, my dear Capricorn, so that is your reading for this month of May 2016. I hope it helps, it resonates in some way for you, and that the messages help you to kind of, get organized and get the things done that you want to do. Um, I do wish you guys I wish you guys have a great month of May, next to your family and friends, enjoying the lovely month of May, and Mother's Day is coming up, and so I wish you guys peace, and I will see you in June. Bye bye.